Okay, the stream is here. I made it to my own stream, largely on time, largely in one piece. Uh, had one of those interesting. We're taking care of my parents' dog, who is wonderful, Ruthie. She's very chill. She's fantastic. But she decided last night from like 4 to 5 to just pace around the house for about that hour. And I took her out and thought, okay, she's got to go to the bathroom, got to take a big, let's say bio break. And she just peed a little, just a little. Just wanted to go hang out, I guess, at 5 in the morning. So feeling a little worse for wear on that front. I think that might be a theme. Maybe I should start doing these streams not in the morning when I consistently feel my worst and instead do the streams at a different time of day where I feel only inconsistently terrible. So that would be pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and post here on the socials that it is that I'm going to start reading some stuff. We'll see how I do today. I have a cough. um, it's a sinus infection thing. So I actually don't feel all that terrible from a. It's not like I have a cold or anything like that. I have sinus infection and be blowing my nose a bit. Yeah, we're gonna get a good nose blowing stream. And I'll be streaming from my nose, and we'll be streaming from the computer, and I will also be probably coughing. So it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be tasty. So I'm gonna go ahead and post twitch.tv slash and then my name, Nick McConnell, which is nice to have. And then I'm going to say, we are live. And I'm going to post that. And then I'm going to post it also on, uh, we're going to call it Twitter. And I'm going to say, that's happening right now. Right now. This is probably the worst part of the whole stream, and I do it every week because I'm not prepared or coordinated or organized. So, live now, Twitch dot TV slash. I'm typing it out because on Twitter it will block me from actually posting the URL, which is cool. Nick McConnell. Da da da. Okay, so right now it's just me, which is all cool. This is kind of the level of energy that I'm gonna have today, so let's just get into it, I guess. Um, Trying to think if there's anything else that's cool. Picked up a new game called Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom, which is always fun to say out loud and makes people think, hey, welcome. Thanks for hanging out. Good to see you. How are you doing, Beejatron? Doing all right on this lovely Wednesday morning Pacific time. Picked up Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom. I have not yet had a chance to play it, but I want to. And my friend Darren also told me about a game called Turbo Kid, which seems to be a Metroidvania game that you control a guy who has access to like a motocross bike, which is kind of cool. I gotta say, this week from an indie games landscape is just absolutely absurd. There's just a million different games coming out, and it's crazy. It's nuts. And then what? In like a week or 2 weeks is another Crab's Treasure. I love Aggro Crab. Those folks are fantastic. They're great. They're kind. Going Under is a wonderful game. Launched on my birthday back in 2020, which was something that I think I desperately needed in the peak of the pandemic, my first pandemic birthday. And yes, Yellow Taxi Goes Room does look rad. The demo is sick. The demo is really cool. They put out a new demo that apparently is heavily updated. So I am super excited to see what that looks like. The real problem for me is that a few weeks ago, while waiting for new games to drop, I finally started playing Loop Hero on my Steam Deck, and no matter all this new stuff that's coming out, it is tough to pull away. Loop Hero is so good, and I was not prepared for it. I should have been prepared for it. But I finished Pepper Grinder. Loved Pepper Grinder. Really amazing game. Brief, but that's good. This is actually one of the few times. I think it was Andrew Brown on Blue Sky pointed out that like it's one of the few times where brevity, because the game is so good, the shorter running time, the shorter playing time, is a little bit of a bummer, only because you want to be spending more time doing it. So, yes, Pepper Grinder, fantastic. Yellow Taxi Goes Vroom is going to be fantastic, I think. But really, at the end of the day, the only game that really matters in the world is Loop Hero. It has completely broken me, and I am in love with it. So, Loop Hero, that's a video game. Anyway, other video games after I take a sip of my coffee. Mm, For today, we have two. We have two. Um, I don't know why I was sort of drawn towards games with let's say, a certain level of attitude. One, I think, plays it off more comfortably than the other. Uh, the one that is, a more well-known commodity that really has the right attitude, that really gets the tone right, is our game Crazy Taxi. Here you can see that I've got a nice little crack in my Dreamcast disc. When you see a crack in my Dreamcast disc, that is likely because this is one of my originals from back in the day. A bunch of my games got sold at one point and given away. And so I had to sort of rebuild my collection. But some of my games are still here, and you can tell because they are super duper screwed up. I'm going to try not to swear at all during the stream today. But wish me luck. Call me out if I don't. So we got Crazy Taxi, which is probably God one of the best games, one of my favorite games of all time. And God, it's so good. So we got Crazy Taxi for one. And we have a game that I personally love, but that I need to I don't know that I'm going to convince anybody else to love it, is Courier Crisis on the PlayStation. This is very 90s. This is a very 90s kind of game. You get to punch business guys and break rules while delivering packages on bikes, the famous thing we are always seeing these days in 2024. So we'll get into it, I guess, in a second. Yes, Harris, we will do we will do video game manual story time after dark where I can curse. I'm gonna say cool words like the D word, the H word. I'm gonna say the C word, which is CRAP. So I'm gonna say that word. I'm gonna say all sorts of cool stuff. So just watch out for when that happens. As a quick aside, I just completed the other day a course and test to become a classified accreditor with the Australian Classification Board, which is the group of folks in Australia that does ratings for games, movies, all that kind of stuff. They're kind of the ESRB, MPA mix in Australia. And if you have any time, it's free to the public to take. I would suggest taking the course because it is a trip. It's a lot of fun. You get to learn what Australia thinks matters, what Australia thinks doesn't matter. And I think you'll be surprised at how lenient they are about some things and how strict they are about others. It's fascinating. Anyway, should do it. Maybe only I think that's fun, but I think it's cool. Let's get right into the manuals because I'm super tired and I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna take a sip of my coffee and we're gonna read from Crazy Taxi. I don't know. Again, as per usual, I haven't done any real pre-reading on this, other than knowing that these are games that I enjoy vibe wise, or at least appreciate vibe wise, and we're gonna see. All right, to sip of coffee, coffee break. If you've got a coffee, go ahead. Okay, Crazy Taxi, real quick. This one's pretty well known, so nothing too surprising here. Just gonna read the back of the box. This was a launch window Dreamcast game. I always remembered it as being a launch game day one, but it was not, as I understand it. Uh, crazy, grab the wheel and prepare for the craziest cab ride of your life. I can't do the voice. You got a Class C license. I can't do it. Um, Crazy Taxi, the smash hit arcade comes to the Sega Dreamcast. Weave your way through crowded streets, across sidewalks, and even underwater. Hey, hey, hey! In a wild and frantic race to deliver passengers on time. In Crazy Taxi, time is money, and only the craziest of cabbies earns their fare. Um, wow. Harris says that he played Crazy Taxi at the arcade the other day. The other day, you are living my dream life, and got a Class B license for the first time in my 20 years of playing. I don't think I've ever gotten a Class B license. That's a good use, Harris. It's a good use of the time. I'm going to be honest with you. That is a good use of the time. Congratulations on the Class B license. I'm going to ask you, who is your cabbie? I was always a BD Joe kind of guy. But I don't know if you got another person. Yeah, it's BD Joe. It's BD Joe. It's BD Joe because he always tells his passengers to shut up and move their butts, which I appreciated. Uh, this game was rated T for teen, as we know, for animated violence and for strong language. Now, I didn't know what strong language meant in this game, but what I'm actually wondering is that if you listen to the lyrics of one of the Offspring songs, um, they say a word that I can only say in video game manual Storytime After Dark, which is the F word, the F word, if you can believe it or not. So I don't know whether that got counted as strong language. This is a different era of the ESRB. I'm going to lose all my followers if I start talking about the different eras of the ESRB, but it was. And unless suddenly shut up and move your butt is considered strong abusive language. Yeah, I never caught it either until recently when I was looking up for work whether or not it's possible in any capacity to have an F word in your T rated game. They should bring back the K to A rating. I think that that's exactly right. I think the KA rating was way better. E E10. What are we even doing here? So, in fact, here's a game with a KA rating. Courier Crisis tells you a lot too about the era. I don't think that this game where you are punching a man in the face on the cover in 2024 would be a KA, but things were crazy back then. No rules. So we'll read a little bit about Crazy Taxi in the manual here. I pulled out the manual. It's a nice manual. The disc, the case is messed up, but the manual, pristine stuff, crisp. Um, I think this is cool. I love it. Thank you for purchasing Crazy Taxi. Please note that this software is designed for use only with the Sega Dreamcast console. Be sure to read this instruction manual thoroughly before you start playing Crazy Taxi. And I had a friend back in the day who would do that with every game that he got, not out of some sort of interest like I have because of my broken brain and what the manual says, but because he genuinely thought that it was not okay to start the game until he had read everything about it. So I love the idea of being like, I can't play Crazy Taxi yet. I have to study. There's not a lot in the way of story as you might expect in Crazy Taxi the manual. Um, you can just sort of infer a lot of in-game storytelling just based off the levels. But there are some character bios, and I'm going to read the character bios. This manual is actually kind of neat because it does go through a lot of details that you would only otherwise find um, by playing. Crazy jumps, crazy throughs. It gives you so much information about different time bonuses, different fares earned, different ways to do the crazy jump. It also tells you about the crazy box mode, which was the best part of the Dreamcast arcade conversions, all the cool single player at home features. Crazy turn, crazy bound, crazy rush, crazy jam, crazy pull. Lots of good stuff in there. It tells you that whenever you modify the options setting, the data will be automatically saved to the VMU when you exit. So yeah, so there's a lot to read here, as Vijay points out. Going through every option before playing a game, I get it, I really do. I'm just impatient, and I jump in, and then I complain that I don't know how to play the game. So that's on me. The crazy box challenges are hard. They are like a way harder version of all the challenge modes in Virtua Tennis, which are a lot friendlier. We're going to read a bit about the cabbies. They didn't do a lot of work in the manual to make the text and font particularly approachable. So, wish me luck here as my aging eyes try to decipher the small letters and the lack of spacing. But we have four cabbies, as we know, in Crazy Taxi, and some customers. They tell us about the customers as well. So, we got Axel. Who remembers Axel? Say hello, Axel. Axel is in the game when the game came out. Axel was 21. They don't give us a year, unfortunately. This isn't Street Fighter 2, but he said he claims to be 21, so I'm assuming that means that he's 45 now. So Axel is going to be 45, let's say. He is a guy. He's 6 feet tall. He's 158 pounds. His license plate is yeah, poor Axel. Oh, yes. They should. Harris points out he knows Axel. He's got wheels for hands and he's constantly in pain. I would love to see a Crazy Taxi Twisted Metal mashup. We should just do it. Sega, Sony together. I think that would be pretty good. Poor Axel. That game, Twisted Metal Black particularly, I don't know what it was. I was too old for this to be the case probably by this point, but Twisted Metal Black scared the hell out of me. Heck, it scared the heck out of me when I was see that's an after dark word. Axel, this version of Axel's license plate is 1NOM155, which is lead speak for I know miss. The meaning of the license plate is I don't make mistakes. Um Crazy Metal and Twisted Taxi are the two equally perfect names. Oh my god, Crazy Metal, Twisted Taxi. This wild guy is known to have a hot and quick temper. His only reason for becoming a taxi cab driver is that he considers being a cabbie the coolest profession. Alex, Axel, psst, Axel always. I'm going to start over. Axel always shows his customers a good time while driving his 60s era classic cab, earning big tips in the process. For him, cab driving is the ultimate career. When he isn't working, Axel is usually trying to pick up women, jamming with his punk band, bass and vocals, or participating on board sports like surfing or snowboarding. This dude's so cool. That said, however, Axel's overly freewheeling nature causes his band members to come and go on a regular basis and prevents him from maintaining decent relationships with women. Oh well, what's a guy to do? While he isn't perfect, his open hearted personality and naturally cheerful nature means he kind of grows on you. His most redeeming quality is that he's especially gifted at mediating whenever there's trouble or fighting amongst his many friends. So that's Axel. He is a land of contrasts. And then we have Gina, who was at the time of this game 23, which makes her, I believe, let's just go with 46. I don't know. Does that work math wise? 46? They're all 45 now. She's female. She's 5'7", and in the classic tradition of video game manuals, her weight is three question marks. Uh, Her license plate is 5EXY515, which is lead speak for sexy sis. Meaning, the meaning says, you know what it means. Um, Harris asks, I might be jumping the gun, but does it specify anywhere if the setting is like actual San Francisco? Actually, no, I don't think so. I was looking through this earlier, and a part of me always feels like the game is meant to look like San Francisco, but feels more like Los Angeles, which is maybe not a popular thing to say. I know it's supposed to be San Francisco, but the weather, the spacing of things, the colors in the sky, I don't know, the blues of the colors in the sky. The fact that there's sun makes it feel like it's LA to me. So it doesn't seem to say that it's actually San Francisco. Although that does seem to be the 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 understood place. Yeah, no, nothing I can see. You know what I'll do? I will read it thoroughly. I will read this manual front to back, and I will find out if it tells us what city it's actually intended to be in. So there we go. That's Gina, sexy sis. Uh, Meaning, you know what it means. If Gina could be I can't the meaning. I love the meaning. Like right after that meaning, you know what it means. If Gina could be described in two words, without a doubt, those words would be cool and sexy. With a strong passion for cars, her reason for becoming a cab driver is simply, quote, because I get to race around in my car all day, end quote. While she's not so concerned with amusing her customers per se, she sure is timely. When asked if she'd be happier as a race car driver, she just laughs and replies, but it is such a rush to race through the traffic laden streets. I could never give this up. When Gina is not working in her beloved cab, she can be usually found working on it. In fact, she spends nearly all her time and money performing extensive tune ups, maintenance, and cleaning. It's no surprise that most of the money she earns goes straight into her cab. Despite her cab fixation, men are attracted to Gina's beauty. But she simply turns her nose up at any man who dares to try to woo her. Clearly, the sole object of her affection is her one and only cab. I like the idea that it's like, despite the fact that she's super into cars, men still like her. This is pretty good. Oh, Gina. The 90s had a very specific approach to this sort of thing in their video game manuals. So then we got BD Joe. BD Joe was 25 at the time of this game. BD Joe. We're gonna have some fun. He's 25. He's a guy. He's 5'9". He weighs 165. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about myself. I weigh 200 pounds, and so whenever I see this, I'm like, how do you do that? How do you get to be 6 feet tall and only 158? That sounds cool. His license plate says two HOP 260, which means two hop to go in lead speak, and the meaning of that is always ready to get crazy. Always friendly and cheerful. That's BD Joe. Yeah, BD Joe 165. No. BD Joe, for him, driving a cab is a line of work in which he can make people happy. Happiest when he can bring a smile to the face of customers. BD is a master of both driving and conversational techniques, such as telling somebody to to shut up and move their butt when they're trying to get into your cab. I'm going to keep reading here. Sorry about this. I lost my train of thought here. Even when not driving his cab, BD Joe is well known as an accomplished performance artist. He can throw together some lids and drum cans, and using a pair of drumsticks, can blow you away with his musical prowess. His rhythm sounds so fine they put the professional musicians to shame. His talent is such that he is often asked why he doesn't perform professionally, but he just laughs and says, making people smile is reward enough for me. Besides, cabbing is too much fun to give up. Lately, BD Joe has taken up card tricks. Why, you may ask? Because by doing so, he can make anyone's day, anytime, anywhere. Uh, what is the auto mod? Oh my gosh, Beachtron got auto modded. For sex based terms, allow it, allow, we'll post it to chat. I'm going to allow it, of course. Super duper taxi ride. I don't know why. So Twitch just auto modded one of the most tame comments I've ever read in my life. Um, BD Joe, I don't know why. What Beachtron got temporarily blocked for by got in trouble for was super dupe the Japanese box art paper spine for Crazy Taxi says super duper taxi ride you'll ever get, which is very cool. But somehow Twitch took that to mean something, which tells me that the Zoomers and the Millennials have a term that I'm not aware of to refer to inappropriate behavior. Edit studio layouts. No, I don't want to do that. 7 new messages. Okay. There are no blood types here, just height, weight, license plate. So there we go. I'm curious too. Harris asks a great question. What do we presume BD stands for? Um, I don't know. I'm gonna have to research that after this stream. Really quick, we got Gus. Just so I can make sure we may not even have time for Courier Crisis today. I do have a meeting at 9:30, which I should clearly cancel just so that I can keep going. Gus, Gus, we love Gus. Gus, I've never driven as. I don't think. I think I just don't like his car as much. Gus was 42, so Gus is entering his golden age now, which makes him, let's go with 65. Male, 5'8", 187. That's more in line with what I'm thinking. His license plate is only 777, which in lead speak is only 777, and its meaning is only aim for the big jackpot. Please do check the Japanese manual for blood types. Thank you. Oh my god. I love blood types. Gus is a handsome, in a melancholy sort of way, drifter who typifies the term cool. He holds the unique distinction of being the originator of the crazy style. In his youth, Gus was a wild and uncontrollable hooligan, selfish to a fault. He hated to lose and always had to be number one at any and all cost. With a strong fascination of all things new, Gus was naturally drawn to that one unique trend that was totally cool. With a knack for getting into something before it became popular, in the days when he didn't even own a car, he was riding a normal taxi. He was in the days when he didn't even own a car, he was riding in a normal taxi when he had a flash of inspiration and bought an old junked out 1955 jalopy. Thus began the crazy taxi trend. When Gus isn't driving, he can usually be found playing cards. When the working day ends, he meets with his poker buddies, whose members change nightly, to while away the time while playing poker, blackjack, and baccarat. A benefit of his gambling is that Gus has come to understand the ways of strategy, thereby mellowing his former desire to win at all costs. Learning the why and how of losing has made Gus a better person. This is so wonderful. I'm happy. I'm so happy for Gus. I like that what this is telling us is that there's a trend of crazy taxiing, that this game, in the world of this game, there is like an entire group of people who do this, and they specifically drive completely out of control all the time. I think this is kind of cool. We get some blood types in the Japanese manual. Thank you for looking that up. A BD Joe is a type O. I love that. We get the blood types. We also have some customers, some cool customers, as I'll put it. We have, let's meet a few of the many customers you'll find throughout the city awaiting a crazy taxi ride. You have Cindy. This young, pretty college student is a psychology major who just loves junk food. Rachel, currently working as a hospital volunteer, this young woman dreams of becoming a doctor someday. Dan, who's wearing a cool sleeveless shirt, a graduate student of economics. There's a typo. Dan is in the process of writing his thesis on the economical impact of the fashion industry on world markets. Um, oh, we'll get to priest. Wait, they don't show priest. Priest isn't in this manual. Harris is correct that the best customer is priest, but he's not in the manual. I guess he only the luckiest crazy taxi drivers can find him and do that. I know, the most iconic customer. Are you crazy? That guy's so cool. Grandma J. Keep your eyes peeled for this feisty old lady. Those loud and colorful pajamas on Miss Jessica are sure hard to miss. So Grandma J is Miss Jessica. Biff is a baseball fanatic who never misses a game. Biff travels by helicopter to watch his favorite baseball team in action whenever they're playing away games. But he takes a cab to the local one. Kim, this tourist is always running from one famous landmark to another with a video camera in hand. Smile! Buzz is a hardcore loving punk rocker, excuse me, who has a habit of suddenly appearing in the most unexpected of places. And then there's Pierre, who has a bouquet. Buzz is a hardcore lover. Pierre is a hopelessly romantic young man who spends all his time chasing women. Another day, another date. So there we go. Sega of America product development. The test lead is Arnold Fiener, and assistant test leads are Gabrielle Brown and Rick Ribble. And there we go. Special thanks to Lindsay Kimizuka and Todd Sleepian. So that is, and then you can make notes in the back. I think I'm just going to write the word priest over and over again and hardcore lover. Um, so that's Crazy Taxi. No blood types in the American version, but it seems like the Japanese version has us covered, and it tells me that I should probably go find a copy of the Japanese version. I also love the bright yellow color on I think it's like the Japanese one has like the nice bright yellow color, right? So, oh yeah, Sega Retro has everything. I know, but I want the I want the thing too. That's my problem. That's my cross to bear. I love the yellow with the logo. God, it's so nice. It doesn't look good on the PlayStation 2 version though. Like there's something about that DVD box with it just looks doesn't look so good. On the jewel case though, we got to bring back jewel cases. So real quick, I know that we're gonna run out of time here. Sort of flying through things. Crazy Taxi was more fun than I expected it to be, so we'll see how far we get. Courier Crisis. I just want to give you a heads up. I loved this game back in high school. I'm the only person I know who's ever played it, and I'm certainly the only person I know who ever liked it because my other friend, who I did play it with once or twice, said that it was not good. I think it's good, but I also love this kind of game. It's like Road Rashy kind of, except that you go around these sort of small levels delivering packages. It's similar in some ways to Crazy Taxi, but its own thing. So this game was developed by GT Interactive Software and published by BMG Interactive. You are the anti-mailman, a slacker courier with a goatee and a BMX rated attitude, a psycho bike messenger thrashing through the concrete jungle, pummel pedestrians, rip stunts, earn cash, deliver the goods, and don't be late. So you got a lot of attitude. You got a lot of tude in this one. When I had this game and then I lost it somewhere over the years. Most of my PlayStation games had disappeared at some point, but the person I bought it from recently was kind enough to save some play some or save some codes so you can play as an alien or an ape. So that's kind of cool. Thank you. This is cool. If you need a hint, you can call the you can call the GT Interactive hint line for $2 a dollar a minute. It's got the cool like 90s font where it looks like your I don't know exactly what that font's supposed to look like, but it's pretty sick. Courier Crisis. I'm gonna read the lawyer's blurb because you don't usually get a lawyer's blurb at the beginning of the manual. The bike wrecks portrayed in this video game would really hurt, probably cause a serious set of broken or torn body parts, and possibly kill you if they happened in real life. Courier Crisis is a game designed to give you the opportunity to do things you can't do in real life. Get it? The city is a dangerous place to ride a bike. Bike tricks are cool. If you want to fly through the air on your bike, do it. But start out small, with bunny hops over curbs and stuff. In other words, do this at home. Bike tricks. It says bike tricks, parenthetically. But practice first. Dissing the cops, running over peds, that just doesn't fly in real life. This is a game. Get it? Yeah, this lawyer makes me want to do some cool stuff. This lawyer makes me want to see how far I can push it. Okay. Real quick, your employment contract, I think this counts as the story. As a bike courier, your job is to pick up and deliver packages in a timely manner. Start by looking for the ped, they keep calling them peds, for the pedestrian, I guess, with a package, and pick it up by writing it to him or her. You can tell which one he or she is by the pickup icon, a giant yellow arrow above his or her head. Once you have the package in your sweaty hands, you need to find the drop-off ped. He or she's easy to spot. Just look for the giant dollar sign above his or her head. Ride by him or her to drop off the package and collect the green. This is where they could have been helpful. Each delivery mission is paid only on timely completion. If you finish when your timer's in the green, you get paid full price. Yellow gets it 75% off the full amount, and red gets you 50. If you can't get the job done before the red's out, you're fired. At that point, you're on your own. Do what you want. It's so much attitude. This is such good attitude. I got to start writing like my work emails this way. So, um, there's the hood selector, city area selector. It tells you. So it says hood selector. Which hood are you going to go to? But then it also says helpfully in parentheses city area selector. So you really know what's up. There's nothing super interesting in there. Um, I will read you about the different towns, the different parts of town. There's a civic center, the financial district, the hub of the city. Lots of hills and secret alleyways. Watch out for the cabs. They couldn't care less if they run you down. Chinatown. Lots of crazy hills and narrow streets. The maneuverability of a BMX bike is usually best for this area. Some strategy. Waterfront. Watch out for the sheriffs in this beach town. They don't care for your type. There are a lot of fast, wide open streets here, so the fastest mountain bike you can afford would serve you best. The mongrel beach dogs are killers. Use your kicks to whack 'em, or bunny hop over an oncoming car. They'll become grill work in no time. This is rated KA. Skid Row, in Skid Row, the image of Skid Row has a picture of what appears to be a cop shooting a college graduate. I can't really tell exactly what's going on right there. So yeah, we should that's we should try. Let's train AI exclusively on this era of manuals. Yeah, yes, we should. Skid Row, this is a bad part of town. Drive-by shootings take out peds constantly. Vicious packs of junkyard dogs rove the streets. Get in and out as fast as you can. Don't forget the Air 360 time power-ups for higher levels. It's crucial. And then there's the industrial zone. Massive radioactive chemical spills in the 80s made this area a little weird. Not to mention the secret army experiments in the 50s. Some say they've been doing DNA experiments with aliens and house cats. Don't play with the fire. Don't play with the fire, you'll burn your fingers. Don't play with the fire, you'll burn your fingers. There's a little thing I can pull out a registration card. Do I plan to buy or currently own any of the following game machines? Sega Saturn, Sony PlayStation, Nintendo 64, Mac, or PC? Yeah, yes, yes to all. I like the ones from the Dreamcast area that ask if you're going to buy a dolphin. There's a bunch of those recently. So gonna keep on rolling. I'm really flying through this right now, but you're not missing a lot here. It just tells you how to do different moves like the spread eagle, the backflip, airtime, mission replay. Oh, I thought I had some more there. I thought I could learn a little bit more about oh, I really flew through that without needing to then, didn't I? I'll learn how to stream one day. I'll learn how to do this better. But that is Courier Crisis. A lot of attitude, not quite as noxious as some of them, but certainly got some sort of stuff in there. This game is cool. I'm gonna be honest. Pull in tricks. That's how you know you're cool when you're just getting rid of some letters, but not really. You're just replacing them with an apostrophe. So this was Courier Crisis. I'm gonna read to you a little bit about who made it. Um, The game concept was from someone named Russell Patterson. And the programmers were Kirk A. Baker, Sean Craig, Adam Harris, Bill Hicks, Bill Kelly, Russell Patterson, and Carson Whitsitt Jr. I'm trying to see if there's anything. The bicycle stunt consultant was Hans No Way Ray. Sounds cool. Uh, Producers Sam Hauser. Is that one of the guys from what's it called? Rockstar? Is he the Hausers? One of the Hausers? I'm gonna sound like such an idiot. Is he one of the Hausers? Sam Hauser? So who knows? I will look that up later, but there you go. If you're looking for a little celebrity sighting. The QA manager was Tim Latorno. The QA supervisor was Michael Wen. I think it might be. I think that might be Sam Hauser. Producer on this game, Sam Hauser. Um, started big. Started big with Courier Crisis. Um, Michael Wen was the QA supervisor, and the QA team consisted of Adam Rabin, Darren Lloyd, Ken Jordan, Lee Brown, Ola Sanusi, Paul Kuthel, and Ronnie Jackson. If anybody knows any of those folks, send them a shout. Um, I love to see the QA folks in there. One of these days, I'm gonna bump into someone in here that I'm like, oh, I know that person. But there you go. Special thanks to GT Bicycles, Cargo Records. You got a lot of that in there. Some brands, some cool Dogzilla. They're thanking Dogzilla. That sounds cool. I don't know what that is, but that sounds cool. So there you go. Got some good songs in there. Drip Tank, Hot Chicken Stew. Oh no, those are the names of the bands. Moby Game says it's the same Sam Hauser. So there we go. We have. Do you know, based on Moby Games, does it say where in Sam Hauser's career this game might have landed relative to other things? Because Career Crisis is what, 1997. So this would have been early-ish, right? Um, in doing stuff, although I don't know. I mean, early-ish in the sense of like GTA was around like around this time and all that, the original GTA. I don't know. Anyway, that's Courier Crisis. Very early for him, 1997. So there we go. So Sam Hauser helped to make today's podcast, today's stream possible. Thank you to Mr. Hauser. And thank you to everybody at Sega, and whichever development team at Sega made Crazy Taxi, which I'm forgetting which one it was. But thank you to everybody. So today's games. Thank you, and thank you to everybody for hanging out and kicking back and and sharing some tude with me, some late '90s tude. We will Hitmaker, of course. Hitmaker made Crazy Taxi. Thank you. Yes, that makes sense. I'm gonna buy Crazy Taxi 2. I never got into it because I was so into Crazy Taxi 1. I'm just gonna go ahead and get Crazy Taxi 2 soon because now I'm like ready to play some more Crazy Taxi. Thank you for hanging out. See you all soon and have a great whatever day it is today, Wednesday, and the rest of the week. Have a great 7 days. Have a great whole time. Have a great whole time. Okay, bye.